Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan
And Angela.
from R&E Music,
That's right.
your favorite mom and pop guitar shop deep in the heart of Texas.
Dun.
That's where we're at, and it's another Ask R&A video for your viewing pleasure.
Yes.
So excited. Are you excited?
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about Dairy Palace a while ago, and now I'm excited about Dairy Palace.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something about
I'm going to be thinking about burgers
Oh,
this whole video.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, well, let's answer some questions.
Okay.
All right, y'all, it is time for Ask R&A one more time. If you're new to our channel, thank you for being here. Please hit the little bell. You'll get notified of our videos. If you're a subscriber, please subscribe.
Yes.
And check out our links down in the description where you can get your own swaggity swag, R&A Music t-shirts, all that good stuff. And there are timestamps to all the questions, so you can peruse those. If there's a question you're particularly interested in, you want to start with that one, you can click down there. But now, we're going to get started with our first question.
Yay.
Just Fun Guitar. He only has fun.
Oh,
No, not fun with Just Fun Guitar.
You just want to have fun.
New question. What is the longest you have had to wait for a guitar tech to complete some work on one of your axes? Hashtag seniors and the most sneaky secret. Hashtag big cup. Hashtag KT. All the hashtags.
All the hashtags.
Well, that's an interesting question. Just Fun Guitar. And the answer is an hour or two.
The suspense was just so intense right there.
Yeah, it was. It's not very long at all, honestly.
Right.
Now, it's kind of interesting because I take stuff to some guys. We've talked about them before on the channel.
Right.
Me and Pat. If you scroll way back to 2014, you can see a video
Has it been that long?
2014. It has been. It's been 5 years
Pat.
since Pat.
He's like, y'all can come to Australia.
Come
just
to
as I can
Australia.
come to-
I
I know,
mean,
Pat. Gosh.
Rub it in.
Come on.
So when Pat was here, Pat David Music from Australia, who has a great YouTube channel, you should go follow him. He came to visit, and I took Pat to Action Sound in Hawkins, Texas, which is a fantastic place. And they've got like 3 or 4 full-time techs. Like, that's what they do. I mean, they have guitars for sale, and they have instruments, and they even do some lessons, and they do amp repair. But their main thing really is luthier work and tech work. I mean, you could have a guitar smashed into 50 pieces, and they could put it back together for you. They're great.
Their brains are special like that.
They're great.
I
Kelly
see it.
and all the guys there, and like
Beautiful
that's what they
minds.
do. And so usually, I go over there. Like, I've been there once and sat there and watched Caleb do a fret job on one of my guitars, and that video with Pat, I had my custom shop Washburn had the control knob was crushed into the body, like it was broken.
It was.
I was like, I wonder if Kelly can fix this. And he's like, sure enough. He's like, oh yeah, I can fix that right now. I sat there and was there maybe an hour, or less.
Yeah.
So anytime I've ever gone in, they've kind of just took care of it right then for me. So not very long at all. But I do understand it's not always like that. You might have a place where there's only one guy doing all the repair work, and he may have a queue of, 10 or 15 guitars or whatever. You got to get in line. They just let me jump in front. They're super nice. They let me cut in line, I guess. They like me. But, yeah, not very long at all, man. Action Sound, Hawkins, Texas. Go check it out. If you Google it, you'll probably find the video of me and Pat there. So, super fun. Next question. Vic G, hi.
Hi.
You were smiling at me.
I know, 'cause you're
you
cute.
thinking about Dairy Palace too?
Yes.
I'm thinking about
I
hot
just
fudge
picture your head
sundaes.
as a big hamburger. No.
It's a-
I was just thinking how cute you are.
Big hamburger
I
head.
like watching you talk.
He says, hi RNA, long-time subscriber, first-time commentor.
Yeah. All right.
Please
hello.
settle an argument with me and my guitar geek buddies. Would you agree with me that the guitar Mount Rushmore consists of Tele Strat, Les Paul, and the Martin Dreadnought? Other contenders in our argument are the electric Spanish ES guitar, the SG, Flying V, Rickenbacker, ukulele, and precision bass. Can you think of other contenders and what guitars would be on your guitar Mount Rushmore? Hashtag choking on Coke. We've talked about this before, I think. How many presidents are on Mount Rushmore? I don't even remember.
It's
Is it
4?
4? Mm-hmm. It's 4. Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's 4.
Yeah.
It's 4.
It's like Roosevelt.
Well, it says, Telly Strat, Les Paul, Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Washington
Yes.
and Lincoln are on there.
Yep. And
2 other guys who are less important.
Yeah.
It's not Eisenhower.
It's like Hamilton or something like that.
Slash.
I think we're going to have to look that up.
For me, it would be Telly Strat, Les Paul, and PRS. I think PRS is elevated over the last 30-ish years.
Right.
I would consider them, top tier. I mean, they're right in there with, for me, the big 3 companies are Fender, Gibson, Play Authentic, and PRS. And now Martin, I kind of categorize a little bit differently. I mean, because Martin is predominantly, they make acoustics, and that's what they make. That's their thing.
Right.
Where, Fender, Gibson, and PRS make acoustics and electrics. But for me, I'm an electric guy 90% of the time. So I think PRS should be up there.
Right.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think?
I agree.
Okay. She agrees, and that's all we need to know.
Yes.
Thanks for the question.
The question would be like, if you got the power to change or add to Mount Rushmore, whose profile would you add or
president
change? Another president or someone famous worthy of that kind of honor? Living or dead?
It would be me. Like, who's that guy?
Beard and all.
If I had the power to add another face to it, it would be my face.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because why wouldn't you?
Wouldn't you want to see my face up there?
Because then you would be famous.
Because then you would see,
There's a serious lack of
Ryan
epic beard.
Yeah, up there.
Up there. Thanks for the question, Vic. Next question, Sinner's Dwarf. Sinner's Dwarf. I wonder how he came up with that name.
I know.
I wonder what the story behind it is. All right, so to put you on the spot, I have children like you, which means I have to map out who gets which guitar when the time comes to hand over the baton.
I like that.
That's
very sweet.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah.
Have you mapped out who gets which guitars when the time comes? Oh, man. That's an interesting question. No. Not really. I really only have... I have one guitar that's sort of like, man, this is the one.
It's the very sentimental.
The pinnacle of sentiment of all my guitars, which is my Gibson Explorer. That one has the most sentimental value of every guitar that I own, for sure. And I haven't thought about it too much because I'm going to live for like another 45 years, I'm thinking.
Yes, you are.
I got about another 40.
I'm saying 60, but whatever.
49 more years. I got 49 more years to go for show.
Right.
And I haven't really thought about it in a long time. I think when the boys were younger, I kind of thought, well, whichever one's a guitar player will get that guitar, and whichever one of them plays drums will get my drum set.
Right.
It's my drum set, which is right here. You guys can't see it, but it's right there. Is, I got a lot of sentimental attachment to my drum set, too.
Yeah.
This particular one.
Yeah.
But neither one of the boys, Nicholas plays the bass.
Right.
And Aiden is not really interested.
Yes.
He can play some very basic guitar. I've given him some very basic guitar lessons, but he's not super passionate about it. So
neither one of the boys are super passionate about music at all.
Which,
it's fine.
Nicholas probably won't be. If at 19 years old, he's not like, man, I'm all about that bass.
Yeah.
He enjoys playing the bass, but
yeah.
He's not into like Victor Wooten and super technical bass stuff.
Searching out other bass players and emulating them and stuff like that. No.
And a lot of basic bass songs. I mean, he's learned some, Black Album Metallica songs, and he's played some AC/DC on bass, and some of your basic church worship songs, which are not super complex.
Right.
He can play
it's
all that
stuff.
stuff.
More of a hobby.
Yeah.
If that.
Yeah. And,
but Aiden, neither one of them, I think that they would appreciate owning Dad's guitars and having them, but they don't, other than the Explorer, I don't think that they have any unknowing. Like, if we had all of Ryan's guitars on a wall, they would not be able to pick out any of his guitars as his if you put them next to other guitars.
I think they could.
Some
maybe
pick
out a couple.
Maybe I don't think they're paying attention. But like the drums and the guitar, I don't. We haven't really talked. That went through the speakers, didn't it? But
yeah, 'cause that's my iPad.
Yes. So I don't know. I think that it would be. I think because Nicholas is the oldest, I think he would get the Explorer, and then Aiden would get the drums.
Yeah, maybe because he's the oldest, and he does play an instrument, and he owns a guitar.
Let's see, we're talking about you're going to be 100 when you pass away.
I'm going to be
102.
102.
And so you have...
So 47 years from now, Nicholas is going to be...
You're not going to be 102 in 47 years.
Wait.
That's
100.
That's only 90.
49 years.
93.
49 years from now.
Yes. 60 years. 60 plus your age is only 103.
Okay.
60 years from now. The boys will be well into almost their 70s, late 60s, early 70s.
Maybe one of my grandkids will be...
Yeah, we spend a lot of time on our death conversation.
Yep.
But no, we have not
Baton
talked
passing.
I
haven't thought much about it.
And I don't own anything other than my wedding band, any sentimentality. I'm not sentimental.
She's not.
At all.
I am a lot.
So,
I'm super sentimental.
I mean, there's the only thing that I carry a value are things that my great-grandmother has made. And then I would probably give it to whoever was my first daughter-in-law and hopefully granddaughters. That's about it.
There you go, man. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, it's a little sad.
It kind of is.
Kind of bummed us out.
I'm going to forget about it real quick.
I think we need to go Dairy Pub.
I think we need to go eat our sorrows away.
We should totally break and go get some and come back and be like, we're back.
Oh my gosh. We could. We're only 3 questions in.
I know.
Man, there's more questions. What? Oh, it's my iPad.
Okay.
Sorry. I think we'll go to Butter Palace afterwards, maybe.
Okay.
Next question, Adam Lynch. I have a question for the guitar teacher in you. I'm 48 and I've only been learning to play the guitar for about 5 or so months. I'm already on my 3rd teacher. It happens. Mm-hmm. I didn't gel with the first 2 because I felt like...
How did it get louder? How did it get louder? That was weird.
It's the computer or the iPad. I don't know. Let me see. Or I pushed the wrong button on my iPad. My texts go to my iPads.
Yes.
Plural iPads.
Yes.
Multiple iPads.
He's on his 3rd guitar teacher.
I didn't gel with the first 2 because I felt like I just sat and listened to them play and brag about their own prowess. I really like the guy I'm with now, but sometimes feel like our lessons are off the cuff and we're all over the place. Also, we don't 100% have the same taste in music. Mm-hmm. I was raised on the big 4. It's like Metallica, Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer. And he's more of a classic rock guy. I've learned a lot in a little time in the last few months, but I feel like I'm at an impasse. I'm starting to lose my motivation a little, and I feel like I may be stagnating. Mm-hmm. Is there an online system you could recommend that may be a little more structured I can add as a supplemental learning tool? Is it a faux pas to go to more than one guitar teacher at the same time? Driving 2 hours a week to take lessons in Canton isn't an option. Mm-hmm. Lamau. Thanks for any information you can provide. Okay, man. Great questions. And, not necessarily surprised you've gone through a few teachers, because there are people out there teaching guitar that probably aren't good teachers. Mm-hmm. Like, just like every vocation in life, you have people doing it that probably shouldn't be doing it. There are doctors who went to medical school and graduated and are practicing who should not be doctors.
Mm-hmm.
You got lawyers who probably shouldn't be lawyers. School teachers who shouldn't be school teachers.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth in every stinking field. Cops who shouldn't be cops.
Every profession has them.
Yeah, firemen who probably shouldn't be firemen, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it's everywhere. So, sometimes you do have to try to find the right one. Now, you're never going to find the perfect teacher, right? That's just doesn't exist because we're different. Other than Angela, she's amazing and you should listen to everything she says.
Everything that I have to say.
But so it's good that you found somebody that you have clicked with. Mm-hmm. Now, what I would maybe do is have a conversation with teacher number 3 and go, hey, I kind of feel like your lessons are a little bit off the cuff. Do you have a structure? Is there a plan in place for me? Mm-hmm. Or are you just making it up as each lesson as I show up? Mm-hmm. And if he says that that's what it is, then there you go. And you can say, well, I really like to have a structured thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure he can probably come up with one. Mm-hmm. Or maybe he has one. I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. And I think a big problem though is, having someone come to you and when the student is sort of dictating the lesson, that's kind of weird because as the student, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know. And the teacher should know.
They should, but not always.
Yeah. And sometimes, depending on their teaching style, they may have a plan, but maybe you can't see it.
Yeah.
Because you're the student and you don't know. Like, well, why am I working on these scales? I was like, well, because you said you want to learn this guitar solo. And the foundational thing in the solo is you need these, the B minor pentatonic scale positions 1, 2, and 5 is everything that is in the solo. So if you know these 3 positions of the scale, inside and out, backwards and forwards, learning the solo is going to be so much easier. You're like, well, I just want to learn the solo. Well,
right.
It's like learning to read without learning your alphabet, kind of say. So, but it's hard to say because I don't know what the guy is teaching you or what that is.
Right.
As far as going to another teacher, you could. There's nothing. It's a free country. You can do what you want. You could go find, another one. Mm-hmm. Although
compare notes.
Yeah. Now, you probably would need to practice what they're both teaching you, I guess. Mm-hmm. But
and I don't know if I'd tell the teacher.
I wouldn't mention it at first.
Somebody else.
I'm not really. Yeah, because I think the first step really is to approach the guy you are currently with and go, hey, I've enjoyed this, and I've enjoyed this. Yeah. And he probably knows you've already gone through 2 other teachers. Mm-hmm. I think you just have to sit down and have a conversation and go, all right, here's what I want to do, and here's where I want to go. Do we have a structure to get there?
Right.
And let him kind of come back and have a conversation about it. Here's where we want to go. I don't feel like I'm getting where I want to get with your lessons. Can we make a change? Can we make it adapted? And the thing is, you need to be really crystal clear cut on what your goal is.
Right.
That's what I find a lot of times is sometimes people don't really know what they want. They're like, well, I want to learn to play guitar. Okay, great. But let's get more focused. It's like, if yours is like, I want to play thrash guitar. Like I want to play big 4 songs. You have to kind of be focused. Now that's the shop phone. I can't do anything about that because it's business hours right now. Mm-hmm. Nicholas is out there. Our son is watching the desk for us while we shoot videos. R&A music. This is Nicholas. Yeah. Yeah, first step is I would sit down and have a very frank conversation with your current teacher. Mm-hmm. Ask him let him know you're thinking about like, hey, I'm not really sure.
Just voice your concerns.
Yeah, in a nice way, and I'm sure that if he's been a good teacher so far, he'll probably understand that, and he'll probably help you focus on where you're going.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, but
maybe not.
Maybe not. As far as an online, I don't know. I've been going through some Udemy courses because I'm in the process of kind of planning out an online course that we're going to do, that I want to do. I've been thinking about it a long time. And right now I'm kind of going through and watching a bunch of other courses that are out there, paid courses you pay money for. And I'm kind of looking at how they do it how they structure it, and I'm like, do I like it the way that they do that? Do I not like the way that they do it? And I do the same thing with books. There are a lot of instructional books out there, and I own many, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I like this, I don't like this. I like this from this book, and I don't like this. I like this. So I'm kind of, and right now I haven't really come across one that I think is like, this is fantastic.
Right.
So can't really recommend an online one. Somebody here?
I don't know. They haven't walked in the door.
I can't really recommend an online one just yet. But I would start with just sit down and have a conversation with your current teacher and see if y'all can map out a concrete, concise plan of where you want to go. And if he can help you get there, great. And if you can't, there's nothing wrong with shopping around for another teacher.
Right.
Now, what you might find after like 6 or 7 or 8 teachers is like, maybe it's me.
I doubt that he can take 6 or 7 or 8. It's hard to find that many people teaching guitar in a community, period.
Well,
but,
depends on the size. I mean, he might be in a big city or something.
Yeah.
If you're in the Metroplex, there's.
But I don't necessarily even think it might be like him, because, like you said, there's not a lot. Even you looked at books that were like, you haven't even found. Yeah. So I think that for the most part, again, he's coming from a teacher and a guitar player mindset. I'm a teacher, not a guitar player. And I've taught little ones for a long time. And I come from the idea that too many times, just like you said, their own prowess, they want to spend more time talking about what they've accomplished themselves than they actually want to teach. And a lot of times, they don't, it's not, like Guitar for Dummies. I was like, I just want you to show me how to do this. And if I want, especially as an adult, we said this before in other lessons, as an adult, other videos, that I don't necessarily want to know all of the theory. Now, if the theory is applicable for what I'm learning at this moment, then yes, teach it to me. But don't assume that I will actually know what you're talking about, because now you've stepped into a level of boring that I'm not here for. So I think that there's a very sorely lacking balance between learning the songs that you want to learn and the actual education behind those songs. There's a balance that's not there. It's either tips so into theory that it's just completely mind-numbingly, eyes melting out of your sockets, boring, or it's so fun and they like their songs and they want to teach you the songs they love because they've mastered them, and they don't know how to balance the two. And I think, like I said before, that somebody needs to come up with some kind of curriculum that will balance the two with the understanding and the feedback from somebody who's never learned. And how easy would it be to teach somebody as an adult that, or even a kid or a teenager, and would it be applicable? Because there is a huge hole in the music community, education community, especially for something like guitar, that it's, again, sorely missing. So.
Yep. All of that. So there you go. And I'm not saying it's you. It may not be you.
No.
It's probably not.
It's most of
the
teachers.
I have had a student before. He's like, I've had 3 guitar teachers.
Yes.
Before coming here, and then she was like, they didn't teach me any of this stuff. Oh my gosh. And she was like so happy to be here. She's like, I learned more from you in like 3 weeks than I learned from all of them in like months. I'm like, well, how are they teaching you?
Right. Because a lot of them don't know how to re-explain stuff that they've already learned, because it's been a long time since they actually were taught, or they taught themselves.
They were self-taught.
And it's just this vicious cycle of ignorance.
Because they may not be teachers.
Frustrated people. Because there's a lot of very talented guitar players out there, and men and women who are even commenting on our videos. They're excellent guitar players, but they wouldn't know how to teach somebody how they learned what they learned. They just knew, or they found somebody a long time ago that taught them the basics and they ran with it because they have that passion. But someone like you, or like how I would be learning guitar at 41, Like, you have to tell me in a where it's not condescending,
Right.
because in your guitar godlike mentality, you think that you're better than me and you have to talk to me like I'm with special needs. No, I need you to talk to me like we're having a normal conversation, and how this is very applicable in every single thing. Like, show me the basics of this in a way that you don't make me feel like I'm walking away like I just you had to pull a nail out of my head for me hammering it in myself. Like, you know, it's a little silly to me.
One of the biggest issues teachers kind of face, or one of the biggest mistakes a lot of teachers make, and I've made the same mistake, is too much too soon. Too much information. Like, information overload.
Yes.
Because it's something that you maybe have known a long time, and it's very second nature to you. To someone else, it's so you're in the hurry. Like, I want to help them get to where they want to go. Let's do this. And you give them too much, and they're like, I don't even know. Let's slow it down, keep it more basic. That tends to be a big issue, but you know. Thanks for the question, Adam. I hope that was at least helpful. A little bit. Keep us informed.
Or encouraging.
And encouraging, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know how it goes.
Please.
All right. I got to reset the camera. Next question. Tracy Johnson, age 65, is considered a senior, at least here in Iowa. We were talking about seniors last week.
Yes. What was it, 55 or 65?
Yeah.
It's 65 in Iowa.
Okay, question. Have you both ever did lessons of both voice and guitar? And if so, was it a good or bad idea? What is a good way to encourage someone to practice? Me and a great kid are teaching each other, and we are both at times so not into it. But it does help. Him teaching me some guitar and me bass. And Ryan, I know what you're thinking. Why am I doing it? LOL. Any advice would be great. We actually have had students that were taking a guitar lesson with me, generally, and then they would go and take a voice lesson with Angela. And we kind of did it separately, guitar and then voice. And now that is something, usually we kind of discourage people from doing multiple instruments at once. You know, like, I'm going to take guitar lessons and drum lessons.
Or piano.
I'm going to take piano lessons and guitar lessons, or piano and drums, you know. Particularly with younger students, we usually tend to, like, kind of encourage them to focus on one instrument for a year or two, get pretty strong foundationally on that one, and then add to it. But vocals, we've kind of made an exception to that, because there are a lot of people who are singers, and they want to learn to play the guitar so they can accompany themselves, you know, to play a gig. So they maybe already sing a little bit and they want to learn to play, or there are some who play and they're like, yeah, I want to learn to sing. But we have done that one, and so I don't think that's too bad of an idea. Just anytime you're doing that, you've got to realize, like, listen, you got to set apart time to go over your voice stuff, practice your vocal exercises, practicing, you know, whatever songs you're working on, practicing your vocal technique, and then, like, okay, you also got to separate, and you've got to spend an equal amount of time, you know, working on your guitar stuff, because it's mechanically it's different. But those are two instruments that very much complement each other. It could be, you know, and piano and voice at the same time. I think that's not too bad of an idea. What's a good way to encourage someone to practice?
Do it.
Just tell them to do it.
Yeah. A good way to encourage somebody to practice. Especially if you're taking lessons together, you know, set a schedule. Ask them to set an alarm. Like, if they know that every day at 6 o'clock in the afternoon they have at least an hour and a half or an hour or even 30 minutes of free time, then set the alarm at 5:50 or 5:55 and say it's almost time to practice. And so when that alarm goes off, it's like, oh, it's time to practice. They'll turn off the TV or turn off the thing, or put their phone down or whatever. Set an alarm. And then be consistent about that every single day, and having somebody keep you accountable, especially when it's not a practice, whenever you haven't made it a habit. And they say 21 days makes a habit. Well, if you give yourself off time for Saturdays and Sundays because you're running around with family, or you go to church, or you're just lazing about the house doing chores or honeydews or whatever you're doing, and you know you're not going to pick it up until Monday because now you're back on a normal schedule, then let yourself know that. let your, keep that. So you have somebody, an accountability partner who tells you Sunday night, it's like, okay, we're getting back to the old grind. Yeah, no, we only have 15 more days of doing this. It's all about consistency and accountability. And reminding each other, oh, did you practice today or did you not practice today? Or even tell yourself, send yourself, voice reminders, or put stuff around the house where you're going to be. It says, don't forget to practice 30 minutes today. Don't forget to practice 30 minutes today, even if it's in your bathroom mirror or on your, if it's that big of a priority. If this is something you just kind of do whenever, then it's never going to really be that thing. It's just going to be something that you pick up anytime, whenever, and just do it. But if it's something that you have a specific goal, it's just like losing weight. If you have a specific goal in mind, every day at a certain time, you have to do it. Like today, I worked out. I did not want to do it because I was so tired. But when I did, in the middle of it, something that I wasn't able to do before, I realized, I was like, wow, I'm a whole lot stronger than I was the first time I did this move, and now I'm able to. And that's the same thing with even playing guitar. Wow, that chord or that exercise was a whole lot harder than, my fingers were able to do it more, and I didn't realize that, and I wouldn't have realized that if I skipped it. And because I was consistent and I picked it up and I did it, now I'm able to play that song by memory. Transitioning between the two chords is easier now because I did it more often than not. So that's how I would handle it.
Yeah, a good way to encourage people to practice is make a plan.
Slap them in the face.
Slap them in the head.
With the chair.
Smack them in the head. Right. No, have a plan. Because if you just think, well, I'm going to practice whenever I feel like it or whenever it's convenient, it's like you probably won't.
Right.
But just like Angela said, if you plan it out, it's like, no, 6 p.m. That's when I practice guitar. Just like you've got to go to work. Most of you who have jobs are like, I got to be at work at 9. Like, yes. I have to leave the house at, 8:15. I got to be in the car driving, and because I've got to be, because you show up too late to work, you get fired.
Right.
So most people understand they have to be at work at a certain time. Right. And you're like, and you usually, my lunch break is.
And that's for something you don't necessarily want to do.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It's so funny whenever we don't really want to do it, but we know we have to, we make time for it.
We'll do it.
But if there's something that we'll actually enjoy and better ourselves with it, a lot of times we don't.
We leave it up to, well, I'll fit it in whenever.
Just chance.
You're not going to. Make it a plan and map out your week and look at your thing, look at your time and go, okay, I have the only time I have on Wednesday is I'd have to do it at 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
And like, well, then do it at 9 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. Or don't do it, but be realistic with yourself and be like, carve out some time somewhere. But plan it, and like she said, set an alarm and just make it part of your routine.
And even set a timer while you're doing it. So if the alarm goes off, okay, it's time to practice. Set the 30-minute timer. So then you feel, oh, wow. But don't look at it. This is what I do. Whenever I have a timer, I cannot look at the timer. I hate on my workout videos that they have the little timer in the middle and they break each section and the little thing goes up and it says like 4 minutes. I'm like, yeah, but the number below it says 25 minutes and I really have 29 minutes left in my thing. Don't show me the timer. I'll set the timer. And even in lessons, I do this because especially if the kid is difficult, I think, how long have we been in here? It feels like forever. We've only been in here for 6 minutes. Gosh. I have 24 minutes with this child. But if I get the phone, set the timer, and put it over on the amp and I turn it over, then the only time we're talking and we're getting stuff done and we're playing through songs, before I know it, the timer goes off. I'm like, oh, wow, that 30 minutes just flew by. And that's the same thing. It's just like whenever they say, if you want to wake up early and make it consistent, put your alarm in the bathroom or in another room, in your room, like in the closet or something, where you have to get up out of bed and walk over to the thing. Because hitting the snooze button is just easy. But if you have to get up, more than likely, you'll stay up.
Right. That's right. You got it. Thanks for the question, Tracy. Hope that was helpful for you and everybody else. All right, next question. Psycho G says, hey, Ryan and Angela, hope you're doing well. I want one of those cups. I would have one big cup of Joe instead of several small ones. How much are they? Last week I had my Everything's Bigger in Texas coffee mug. I don't have it with me today because I'm not drinking I'm not drinking in the middle of this video.
No.
And Ryan, why don't you turn your ringer on silent while you're doing the Q&A videos? Just saying. I know you're a guitar player, but how about some bass-oriented stuff once in a while? Oh, and I'm dead serious about the big cup. Name your price within reason, of course. Okay, a couple of things. Well, mine is not for sale. So you cannot buy my Everything's Bigger in Texas cup. There is no price. However, I'm sure you could find one on Amazon or online somewhere. I forgot where we bought it. I think it was when we went to see Alter Bridge. In Dallas, and we were stayed.
I think it was at a.
We were in downtown Dallas, and we went into some stores, like a Western wear store, like boots and cowboy clothes and stuff. And they had a little section of like Texas stuff,
like niche.
Yeah, you know, touristy stuff.
Kitschy.
Like if you're in down, I can't remember the name of the store, but
I can't think.
Pretty sure because I've seen other cups like that, not that big.
No.
I mean, they were big, but not that big.
Yes.
That's the ultimate Texas size one. So I think I found that at a Western wear store in downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $14 maybe, 14, 15
Something
bucks.
like that.
It wasn't like extravagant, like $35. I probably wouldn't have bought it. But I'm like, $15 for this huge cup? I'll pay that.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, so, you know, it's huge though. But mine's not for sale, but I'm sure online you can find everything.
Google it.
Google it. Giant Texas coffee cup.
Yes.
I'm sure you could find it.
Oh,
right.
show.
Now, why don't I turn my ringer on silent while we're doing the Q&As? Well, usually at night, we shoot these at night, and it is. However, my alarm, when you set an alarm on your phone, we were just talking about this, you set an alarm, it doesn't matter if your phone's on silent or not, that alarm still goes off. Because I've had my phone on silent and be like, oh my God, why is this making noise?
So you'd
I'm
have
like,
to turn
it's
his
the
phone
alarm.
completely off.
Yeah, I have to turn it completely off.
Yeah.
Like, completely off.
Yeah.
And I don't do that because what if the kids call me?
Yeah.
If the kids need us in the middle of shooting? Because these videos, you may have noticed, sometimes last an hour long.
And so we'll see the notification if we have to stop the video, and because they won't call the shop phone because they know it rings.
Usually.
Especially if they know we're going to be filming Ask RNAs. So they won't call the shop, they'll call our cell phones because usually we have them sitting right in front of us and on the stand that we have the words, and we can see our home, Lolly home calling, and we'll stop the video and
or
go
if Nicholas
answer.
says text us like, hey, something's wrong with the dogs.
Yes, or something like that, you know. So.
But the sound that's normally going off, that you'll hear go off in the middle of our videos, is an alarm. It's not a text. It's not anything else. It's my 8 o'clock alarm to remind me to take my medicine.
Yes.
Because I have some medicine I have to take every day. And if I don't, sometimes I forget to take it.
Yes.
And it just so
Especially
happens.
because he's up here a lot, away from his medicine. So.
Yeah, and now there are days I take it before the alarm goes off. But it's there to remind me, take this. And it just happens that a lot of the times we're up here Saturday.
We're filming
not
at the
Saturdays.
time.
Thursday nights after we close the shop, and we start shooting about 7:30, and that alarm just goes off. So that's why.
Yeah.
Now this morning, it was my iPad's
Yeah.
text alert. I'm like, oh, I forgot that they did that.
Yeah.
Because normally
Yeah.
they are on silent.
Right, and we're not really filming at this time.
We don't normally film at this time on Thursdays.
Oh.
It is almost 5 o'clock. I can't believe it.
Oh wow, day's gone.
It is. So.
That's why.
That's why.
Lord mercy, asking all these questions.
There's a couple of bass things. Not very many. There's 1 or 2 bass conversations with me and the Bitter Bass Man on this video.
Yes.
On this channel.
I mean, what would you want to know?
Yeah. That's the question.
That couldn't get covered in 2 videos.
What? I see what you did there.
Well,
It's bass. How hard could it be?
I know. How extensive. Quite extensive.
Quite extensive. I just haven't done it because there's not a big demand for it. And, you know, it's funny. I watched Phil McKnight's video, and Phil's a great bass player. Like, he's a bassist. Now, he plays guitar. He's a good guitar player, but he's really a bass player. And he's talked about this. And people are like, why don't you make more bass videos? He's like, because nobody watches them.
Oh.
He's like, I've made bass videos. You're like, I have a video. Every guitar video gets 20,000 views, 30,000 views, 50,000 views, 30,000 views, 40,000 views. And he makes a bass video and he gets 3,000 views. So it's like, so why would I keep making those? Because it's killing. It kills the
money.
channel, you know.
And you get money from views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like, I play the bass, you know.
Yes.
I have played bass for many years.
So ask bass questions, and we will answer them according to this, but not in its own separate forum. Probably
but I don't
not.
necessarily
unless
love
it was very
the bass.
funny, and you show up at Paul's house. Hey, Paul, we're gonna do a video about basses.
We're gonna do some bass stuff. But
You're gonna play all the notes.
How to? We should. Well, there's some funny bass videos we can make.
Yes, but I don't think that's what he's wanting.
That's not
I
always-
think he wants informative bass stuff.
Yeah, are you talking about like gear videos, like different basses, or is it like
Expound
playing
your
videos?
question.
Or elaborate a little bit on the
Yes.
bass stuff. So there you go, Psycho. Thanks for the questions, man. Appreciate it. Good luck on your cup adventure mission.
Yes.
Next question, Penny Wisdom 1983. My question, there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who are right and those who are wrong. So those who think it's impossible to play a flying V sitting down and those who realize that classical position is awesome. Which are you? No hate either way. I'm just curious. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. I'm okay with the classical guitar position, which is what I do a lot of the time, which is, resting the guitar on your left leg.
Yeah, it's
And
the
you're
back
playing
here.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of side saddle. I call it side saddle when you're on your right leg.
Mm-hmm.
And I play that guitar. I play guitar that way a lot as well, because that's how I learned when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was playing on the right leg until I learned that, well, when you're standing to play guitar, you don't really play over here like this.
Right.
But yeah, I'm okay. I play a lot in what would be considered the classical guitar position. I teach most of my students from the very beginning. Lesson number 1, okay, here's how you hold the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell them, your natural inclination is probably to do this, sit on the right leg, side saddle, but then you sort of
Yes,
drop
I have a
your
girl,
shoulder.
She still does that.
And you're trying to, and I can't reach it. I'm like, well, because the neck is down here and your arm is down, but if you bring it over here,
Yes.
and I usually have them like, if they have a strap, stand with the guitar, with the strap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's where the guitar is. Okay, when you sit, keep the guitar in that same position.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't ever do the side saddle thing. I do play that way from time to time. I do that, but I'm exceptional and I can do both. Most people are not exceptional. I'm kidding. Totally kidding right now. I encourage my students to go with the more classical position because honestly, it's much easier on your left hand. As a beginner, guitar is already a very challenging instrument. Most of us using our non-dominant hand, our weak hand that's not very coordinated to do the hard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm big on encouraging the classical guitar position.
Right.
And if you play a V, you kind of have to do it that way.
Right.
Which I do not have a V. I still
Right.
want one. Thanks for the question, Penny Wisdom.
Okay,
1993. You sleepy?
Yes. Sorry.
Sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only 5 p.m. We've only been up since
I've been up since 6.
6. I think I've been up since 7. Next question, Jeffrey Egan. The question I have is, if a guitar sits around in a gig bag for years, could it be bad for the neck? My OE30 Oscar Schmidt has a cracked neck at the heel from shipping damage, so it sat around for years in its gig bag. I finally had the neck repaired so I can actually play it, but recently noticed cracks at the top of the neck by the head. Could this be from sitting around for so many years, like 10 years? Thanks. Hashtag KTMA.
Interesting.
Well, yeah, it could. Depending on how you have it sitting. Is it like laying down flat, or do you have it leaned up against the wall, or the head,
There's pressure.
there's pressure on the headstock, the way it's sitting, or is it straight up and down? But yeah, if it's just been sitting in a bag, it could definitely have issues. It could have dried out,
Yeah.
and that can cause cracks, if it hasn't had the proper humidity and all that kind of stuff.
What? I like to watch you talk.
That was a really fast car driving by.
It really is.
Yeah, but
humidity definitely.
Yeah, so it could have been from that for sure.
Whatever.
I mean, just sitting untouched for 10 years. I mean, there was a time I kept my Explorer in its case for a long time and didn't play it, and then I took it out to play it, and the neck was really bowed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what happened? I was like, well, I hadn't played it, and I left it under tension with some heavier gauge strings on it. And I'm like, oh. Luckily, it's super easy to fix. Truss rod adjustment, it was good to go. But yeah, it could be. So I recommend if you have guitars that you aren't playing very often, take them out every now, maybe once a month.
Or at least loosen the strings on them.
Yeah, loosen the strings a little bit. You know, make sure they're not cracking or drying out from, lack of moisture. You know, there's a fine balance between too much moisture and not enough moisture when it comes to guitars because they're wood. But yeah, it could totally be from just sitting in a case untouched for 10 years, for sure.
Right.
So thanks for the question, Jeffrey. Appreciate it. I'm sure you can get that fixed. Everything can be fixed. That's one thing I learned from my guys at Action Sound in Hawkins, Texas. Everything can be fixed.
It's truth.
It's just how much do you want to spend? How much is it worth it to you to spend $700 to fix a $200 guitar that's smashed into 12 pieces? Because we can do it. We can make it look brand new, but is it worth the price? So, all right. Thank you for the question, man. Next question, Art Monk. Hey guys, Ryan, that big mug cracks me up. I've been looking for an affordable semi-hollow. If you had to choose one from this list, which one would it be and why? Washburn HB35, Epiphone 335 Pro, or Epiphone Dot? Hashtag seniors, hashtag big cup, hashtag KTMA.
I thought he was going to say, I've been looking for an affordable big cup.
I've been looking for a giant Texas cup for many years. Well, there's probably a Western wear store in downtown Dallas that has them. That's a good question, Art.
Which one?
I'm kind of leaning toward the Washburn because I like Washburn. I really do. Maybe the 335 Pro. I'd probably go with the 335 Pro over the Dot because I think it's a little more rocking, and I'm a little more rocking. If they're similar priced, honestly, I mean, because I don't know off the top of my head what the prices of those are.
Right.
If they're similarly priced, they're probably similarly. That's hard to say.
Similarly.
They
have some similarities.
They're probably all pretty close to the same. If they're all like $499.
It's like Porky Pig.
They probably all came out of the same factory, honestly.
More than likely.
Most likely. But, if you could, the best thing to do is just go play one of each of them and,
Get your hands on
them. See which one you like. The Washburns have a good reputation, so I think you'd be fine with that. And the Epiphone stuff is honestly pretty consistent, too. Really. So, any of the three would work. I like Washburn. I would maybe go to Washburn. Sure. Yeah.
I can see that.
So, yeah. Any of the above, but maybe a Washburn. It's all good. All right. Thanks, Art. That was probably not helpful at all, but anyways. Next question. Art says, hashtag seniors. I want a hashtag big cup like that. Everybody wants my giant Texas cup.
I know
I need to use it more often. Question, who is your favorite vocalist and why?
Is there a last question?
No, that's it.
Oh,
Final question.
Final question.
Who's your favorite vocalist and why, Angela Saucerus?
Oh my god. Why?
Do you have a single favorite?
Not really. I like different vocalists for different reasons in different seasons that I'm in. I will go and play the heck out of some Michael Bublé when I'm feeling kind of just happy and just fun, and it's just that kind of brings me back to about 10 or 15 years ago, and I just love it because it reminds me of my friend Teresa. Or
Tita.
Yes. Or I'll listen to Josh Groban when I just want to calm and mellow out, but feel that kind of passion of singing. I like to listen to Adele whenever, singers are mood rings for me. So whenever
depends on the mood you're
it
in.
depends on the mood I'm in
At the moment.
and but each one of them, like Michael Bublé has that old school smooth Rat Pack sound to him, and I've always loved that sound. I've always loved the Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin type sound in songs. But Josh Groban has that range and that passion that's
Power.
like listening to a Rodgers and Hammerstein play without the play. He just has that voice. And Adele has the sass and
The blues.
bluesy, jazzy, deep, raunchy, just down to it voice that I just love whenever I'm just,
When you're feeling sassy.
When I'm feeling it. And then they're like the older
Sassafras.
school guys. Like I can listen to some Al Green when I just want to take it back, and I think of my dad and my childhood. And I'm cleaning the house, and it's a Saturday morning because that's what we did. We would open up all the windows and have breakfast and listen to Al Green.
Al Green sounds like Saturdays.
He does sound like he's a Saturday day guy. So it just depends. But those are the reasons why, because a lot of my moods are attached to them, and I like just how it kind of makes me allows me to process certain information, and then I'll go back to like my everyday stuff, which would be like Billy Joel and the Beatles and stuff like that from the 60s and early 80s to 70s, and I go through that little era of rotation of guy vocalists that remind me of my childhood. But that's why.
There you go.
That's why when people ask me, what's your favorite song? I'm like, what day is it? What
Today?
What year is it? What
changes.
What has happened today? Then I'll tell you what my favorite song is.
Yeah. Let's see. My favorite vocalist and why. Kind of the same. I don't think I have a favorite that I'm like, this is the best singer who ever lived. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. I can't really name just one. I can give you a couple
so many
that I really like. I mostly listen to rock. Majority of the time it's rock stuff is what I'm listening to. So I'll give you some of my favorite rock vocalists. In no particular order. I like some Robert Plant. Led Zeppelin. I'm like,
I do.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's good. Now I know it's not everybody's thing. Some people
I know, because they don't like how weird.
how
Pitchy and
waily he is sometimes, and screechy a little bit. I'm like,
He has
I like him.
He can get a little witchy poo.
He there's not every single song that I enjoy,
No.
but
No.
a lot of his Zeppelin stuff I really enjoy. I'm not saying he's the greatest singer who ever lived or the greatest rock
it's not
vocalist,
about that.
but he is a great rock vocalist. You can't say anybody's the greatest ever that existed.
Right.
But I don't necessarily get tired of listening to Robert Plant. And it makes me want to sing. Led Zeppelin makes me want to sing along. I'm not a singer per se, but I'm like, I want to sing along with Zeppelin sometimes.
And he will. That's one.
Which is like,
if he does sing around the house, he's singing Led Zeppelin around the house.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You'd think I'd sing some Metallica.
No, not at all. You never ever really sing Metallica ever. When you go to anything, it is either like Ramble On or something. It's always a
very Zeppelin-y
song.
Which is funny. So there you go. That must be
Your favorite vocalist is Robert.
Probably. I also really enjoy Miles Kennedy from Alter Bridge because I like that he's got the range and the power, and he'll go from low and he can hit those high.
He has a
screaming,
very nice voice,
like very 80s. Like
And
doing that whole thing.
He's able to come encapsulate or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That era where you're like,
Yeah.
you think you're listening to something really old school, but it's just like from a couple years ago.
Yeah. I like him, and I like Alter Bridge's music. That kind of helps for me. The vocals are attached to the band sometimes in the music, so I like him, a lot, and I dig him as far as vocals go. I do like James Hetfield.
Of course you do.
Because it's like, It's Metallica, man.
I mean, my
and when it comes to like rock, like hard rock,
What are we,
vocals,
savages?
Yeah, what are we, savages? I mean, like, I would rather listen to James all day than listen to Ozzy all day.
True.
Which is like, and I love some Black Sabbath. And
I
some
like
Ozzy
Black
Osbourne.
Sabbath Ozzy, not Ozzy.
Not
Ozzy.
modern Ozzy.
No,
Yeah.
I can't listen. I don't like that.
I do not enjoy Zakk Wylde's Black Label Society vocals, which is like terrible because I'm a big Zakk Wylde fan. I like his vocals a lot from Pride and Glory. If you go to his Pride and Glory, which is the very like hard Southern rock album, I thought his vocals were killer.
Yeah,
because it was very Allman Brothers, Leonard Skinner kind of.
Yeah,
vocal. He wasn't trying.
I was supposed to say that doesn't. I remember it being good, but it was the album. Okay.
Yeah, on that album because he was trying to be Southern rock, like Skinner kind of thing.
But he did good. He did.
It
well.
was fantastic.
He did really
at that.
well. Mm-hmm.
That was his voice, and then with Black Label Society, he was basically trying to be Ozzy. This was like his impression of Ozzy.
But like Ozzy after all the brain damage.
Yeah. Brain damage, snorting ants and cocaine, Ozzy.
Yes.
And of course he's doing the Zakk Sabbath, which was just here in Dallas. Like yesterday, day before yesterday, they were in Dallas. Zakk Sabbath, where they just do Black Sabbath stuff, but it's Zakk doing it. I'm like, I don't really enjoy him doing that. Now, on the Pride and Glory album, they had some bonus tracks where he did cover some Sabbath stuff, like The Wizard, I think, but he was doing this Southern rock, Allman Brothers vocals. And I was like, that's awesome. So, as much as I'm a big Zakk fan, I'm like, it's perfect place for the camera to stop. But anyway, let's go back to, those are probably the three that popped in my mind at first for rock vocalists. And there's a ton of great vocalists of all genres,
Yeah.
But what's her name?
Pink.
Pink's really good. She does some great Led Zeppelin.
I love Pink.
I like it when Pink does Led Zeppelin covers. I was like, she's killing it.
She has an amazing voice.
She is
I
really
like
good.
the rawness, almost the Janis Joplin-Lee voice.
Yeah, but she's still on pitch.
Yes, yeah. Where Janis
was
that
pitchy.
was drugs. That was drugs. I think if she had a chance past Woodstock to actually be herself, I think she would have been turned into an amazing woman vocalist.
Had she not died.
Yeah, because she would have been in her 70s now.
She probably would have.
She'd still be on tour, and
she probably would have really refined her voice.
Yes, but
I like it. Ann Wilson from Heart.
Yes. Oh yeah.
She's.
Oh yeah.
Great, especially doing Zeppelin.
Oh my gosh, nailing it.
That's my defining factor. It's like, how well can you sing Zeppelin?
Stairway. How can you sing Stairway?
Oh, you did
all
great.
That gibberish.
I like you.
And actually make it sound amazing.
Now, I do not care for the other band that sounds like Zeppelin.
Yes.
But we're not going to go there.
But oh yeah, she's good.
Pink is good.
There's so many though. I mean, I'm sitting there like Elton John. I'm thinking Whitney Houston. I'm thinking Aretha Franklin. I'm thinking, Lena Horne. Oh, rest her sweet heart.
Yeah, she's
I
good.
love Lena Horne, and she was on Johnny Carson, and I remember watching her. And he said, I just love your voice. He goes, what do you think about yourself whenever you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror? And he's like, I'm Lena Horne. Like, what do you think? She was like, nothing. She goes, I don't think of nothing. He goes, so when you hear your voice, she goes, I never listen to my voice. She's like, once it's recorded, I will never hear it again.
Yeah.
She never.
Do you think she thought she was no good?
In her whole career, she never thought she had a great voice. Because I'm
going to take y'all's money, but
but for the most part, she was like a chorus girl. She started off as a chorus girl, and everybody like, you're gorgeous, and they heard her sing, and then they put her at singing. But in herself, she was like, I was, a performer. She never thought of herself as a vocalist, but her voice is like butter. It was like.
I like butter. Speaking of butter.
If you ever watch this movie, put it on a list. I don't know where it's at or how you can find it because it's so old. It's in black and white. It's called Cabin in the Sky. And Lena Horne steps out and she sings, and she's just so young and so gorgeous, and it's just a beautiful movie about African American culture of, club life and just general life and everything. It is an amazing, amazing movie. and tell me what you think about Lena Horne's voice in that movie. It sent me to another place, and I was only like 6 when I watched it for the first time. It's heavenly. She's amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's the final question. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our answers to your questions. Please feel free to leave your responses respectfully to all of these questions. Mm-hmm. And if you made it to the end of this video, because they are hour-long videos usually.
Yes.
We are super excited that you actually sat through this whole thing.
True.
And to let us know that you did that, that's why we have our secret hashtag of the day. Mm-hmm. And you'll type that hashtag below in the comments, and we'll know that's our little inside thing that you are saying, hey, I watched this whole video. And that's your badge of honor if you did do that. And if you lied about it, that's on you. That means you're a bad person. So don't lie about it. That's between you and Jesus, but Jesus knows you're a liar. So don't lie to Jesus. Or to yourself.
Hashtag don't lie to Jesus.
Yeah.
Liar, pants on fire.
So
don't lie to
the secret hashtag of the day is hashtag fire pants.
No, it's not.
It's not?
No. Oh my gosh.
What is it then?
I don't know. Let's think.
Hashtag Lena.
Lena Horne, I don't know.
Hashtag Big Cat. What was the name of that movie?
Cabin in the Sky. That's a long
hashtag. But they can type. The little fingers ain't gonna break off. So.
Yeah, Cabin in the Sky.
Yeah, hashtag Cabin in the Sky if you made it all the way to the end of this video, and we'll know that you're amazing and watch the whole thing, and you got to enjoy all of our little jokes.
Yes.
And funsies and things that we do in our videos. And thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We will see you in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
The music needs you.
You need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for the next generation.
That's true.
And current generation.
All of them.
Yeah. Go watch that Lena Horne movie.
You need to.
Yeah. I've never seen it.
It's good.
I need to watch it.
Yes, you do.
Is it on Netflix?
I don't know. I have to look it up. It might be on Amazon. That's more likely.
Maybe on Amazon. We'll go watch it.
Okay.
And maybe we'll go to Butter Palace now.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. So excited. Are we really going to Butter Palace?
I would like to.